Picture the galaxy burning. The Jedi have fallen. The Republic is gone. The Sith rule everything. And the most powerful Jedi Master alive runs away. Was Yoda's exile an act of cowardice, or the wisest move the galaxy has seen? Today we're diving into one of Star Wars' most fascinating moral debates. Did Yoda abandon the fight, or save the future? Welcome back to Inspired Theories, where we dig beneath the surface of Star Wars and wrestle with its toughest questions. Few moments in Star Wars are as loaded with consequence and controversy as Yoda's decision to disappear after the fall of the Jedi Order. In Revenge of the Sith, Yoda loses to Darth Sidious in a ferocious duel. He goes into hiding on Dagobah, cut off from the galaxy, waiting for the Skywalker children to grow up. When George Lucas made the original trilogy, it made perfect sense. Yoda and Obi-Wan were the last Jedi. They had one mission: train Luke or Leia to destroy the Sith. But in the years since, the Star Wars universe has expanded massively. Order 66 survivors keep appearing. Jedi like Ahsoka, Kanan Jarrus, Cal Kestis, Seer Junda all survived. And many fans now ask, why didn't Yoda gather the survivors and keep fighting? Couldn't he have led a rebellion sooner? Or was hiding truly the only way to defeat the Sith? Let's examine both sides, and then I'll share my own verdict. Let's start with the argument that Yoda's exile was pure wisdom. By the end of the Clone Wars, Yoda knew that the Jedi were utterly compromised. Their ranks were decimated, their temples fallen. The clone army had turned against them. Palpatine had achieved total political and military control. Any attempt to fight back openly would have led to the Jedi's immediate extermination. Even Yoda himself was no longer strong enough to defeat Sidious. In Revenge of the Sith, Yoda says, "Into exile I must go. Failed I have." Some see that as resignation, but others see it as a profound clarity. Yoda recognised that continuing the fight would only result in further death, and the galaxy needed hope, not doomed heroics. From this perspective, Yoda wasn't running away. He was playing the long game. In the original trilogy, he and Obi-Wan believe only the Skywalker children have the potential to defeat Vader and Sidious. The Sith had risen precisely because Anakin Skywalker fell. Yoda believed only the next generation, free of the Jedi's old dogma, could end the cycle. And there's some evidence that Yoda was protecting more than just himself. In the novel, from a certain point of view, Yoda actually expresses regret that it wasn't Leia he trained instead of Luke, believing she might have been the stronger choice. He wasn't hiding simply out of fear. He was waiting for the right moment to shape the future. Moreover, Yoda's disappearance protected other survivors. Had he rallied the Jedi together, the Empire would have hunted them more ferociously. His survival on Dagobah, masked by the dark side energies of the cave, kept him off the Empire's radar. So from this perspective, Yoda's exile wasn't cowardice, it was strategy. A Jedi Master choosing patience over futile heroics. Yet there's another side, and it's growing louder as Star Wars expands. Because to many fans, Yoda's retreat looks like abandonment. After all, Yoda was the Grand Master of the Jedi Order. His very name meant hope and leadership. If ever there was a time for him to rally survivors, it was after the fall of the temple. We now know numerous Jedi survived Order 66. Ahsoka Tano joined the rebellion's earliest movements. Kanan Jarrus fought in the Ghost Crew, inspiring others. Cal Kestis and Seer Junda continued resisting the Empire's purge. Obi-Wan, even in hiding, kept a watchful eye on Luke and intervened when the time came. And Yoda sat in a swamp. It raises a tough question. Why couldn't Yoda at least try to rally the survivors into a covert resistance? If Yoda and Obi-Wan had flipped immediately, joining Saw Gerrera or Captain Rex's uprisings, they could have sparked a new war rather than a small-scale rebellion. Consider the potential impact. Surviving Jedi generals could inspire clone defectors like Rex and Wolf to turn in greater numbers. Systems disillusioned with the Empire might have risen earlier. The Sith would have faced a larger, coordinated civil war rather than a scattered resistance cells. Instead, the Empire consolidated its power unopposed for nearly 2 decades. One could argue that Yoda underestimated how many Jedi and clones might follow him if he'd shown leadership. And there's another point. By withdrawing entirely, Yoda risked losing touch with the galaxy's reality. By the time Luke arrives on Dagobah, Yoda is grumpy, isolated, and possibly out of touch with how much things have changed. His insistence that Luke must not go save his friends in Empire Strikes Back feels like the counsel of a man who'd lost faith in personal connections, a flaw that arguably contributed to the Jedi's fall in the first place. From this view, Yoda's exile wasn't wisdom, it was a retreat from responsibility. But the heart of this debate comes down to one question. Did Yoda believe there was truly no other hope besides Luke and Leia? The answer seems to be yes. Yoda and Obi-Wan placed all their hope in the Skywalker children. They believed the dark side could not be defeated through armies or politics, but only through confronting the Sith directly. Even in Return of the Jedi, Yoda insists Luke must confront Vader alone. So from his point of view, gathering Jedi survivors might have delayed the inevitable, but would not have solved the core problem, the Sith's control of Anakin Skywalker. Yet even that logic has its flaws. If a renewed Jedi resistance could have saved Anakin earlier, or weakened the Empire enough that Sidious fell without needing Luke to face Vader alone. Here's where insight is crucial. If Jedi survivors had visibly fought back, more clones and systems might have rallied faster. The Empire's propaganda might have faltered. Instead, Yoda's exile left scattered cells like Saw Gerrera's partisans to carry the fight alone, often through methods Yoda himself would have disapproved of. So was the Skywalker plan truly the only path, or simply the safest for Yoda and Obi-Wan? Now, where do I stand? I think Yoda's exile is one of the galaxy's great paradoxes. I do believe there was wisdom in it. The Jedi were shattered, and Palpatine had the galaxy in a chokehold. An open fight would have meant slaughter, and might have erased any chance of training Luke or Leia. But I can't help wondering, what if Yoda had tried to lead those who survived? Modern canon shows dozens of Jedi still alive, people who might have made a difference. A coordinated Jedi resistance might have sparked a second civil war, drawing clones and systems back into the fight. So my verdict is this: Yoda's exile was wise in the context of the original trilogy, but begins to look like missed potential as new stories expand the galaxy. I don't believe Yoda was a coward. I believed he acted out of caution and hope. but I also believe he underestimated how many allies he still had, and how much leadership he could have offered. In the end, the galaxy waited nearly 2 decades for hope to rise again. And we'll always wonder, could Yoda have made that happen sooner? But what about you? Do you see Yoda's exile as wisdom, or as a failure of courage? Should he have tried to rally the Jedi? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Next week, we are diving into the debate of should the Jedi have stayed out of politics. You won't want to miss it. If you are enjoying the videos, become a member and let's uncover the galaxy's biggest secrets together. Thanks for watching.